Hey guys, today I'm gonna talk to you about my gas electric go-kart that I built out of wood. So here, what we have is we have the engine that actually drives that one wheel, the left wheel. Here's the fuel tank, and here's the electric motor that drives the right wheel. It's got like a jack shaft underneath, so you got like chain drive going down, and then it's going, and then there's another thick chain drive underneath that actually spins the wheel and supposed to give you like supposed to give me like a big like a gear reduction. And here we got the cooling fans, we got the emergency motor stop, we got the battery over here. The batteries for like to run like the lights, the fans, and the contactors and such. That's the DC converter, that silver box, as you can see. That guy converts 18 volts DC to 12 volts as what all the control circuit needs. And here we have like, yeah, you got a little zoom in deeper in there. That's like a contactor, and you got like a piece of VMT pipe work that I did over there. And you got all this mechanical linkages and stuff. You can see the mechanical cable and this adjustable piece. That's like for like your gas pedal. Once I pull the gas pedal, which is over here, it's the right pedal, and the left one is a clutch pedal. I'll get to that after. So here now we got like our fantastic luxury leather seat. Not leather though. Here underneath here we got the batteries for the actual electric motor. This is each battery is 18 volts, and I have them linked together, so it's parallel series circuit, so it gives me 36 volts. And 36 volts are like a much like a double ampere hour. And here you can see the springs. That's like my only suspension I have here, but it really works and it's really comfy. Here now you get to the controls section. This, as you can see, this ugly awkward thing, that's your throttle for the electric motor. That over here is your engine kill switch. This guy's a winch. I'll get to that after. That's a neat thing. And then here we have like your lighting panel. You got like all the stuff that you can turn on here, fans, lights you can turn on and such. That's the switches for that. That's your DC drive. That's like the controls, the electronic circuit for like the electric motor, so you can softly start it. So it's basically hooked up with this guy. And then there we have, see those two red and green buttons? That's your start stop circuit for like the electric motor. So this is like for safety, in case if something happens with this, if this gets like shorted or something, the motor runs at full speed, I can always hit the stop button. And this is always like a safety feature I need for like any like dangerous motor loads. That's what I build like for my stuff too, any kind of winches in my garage or stuff like that. Anyway, so moving down, we got our gas and clutch pedal. So the clutch is cool, and as you can see, this is a go-kart with an actual clutch pedal, like not some centrifugal clutch garbage, because this guy's actually has a manual. And the reason I wanted like a manual transmission kind of, but it's a single speed though. The reason I wanted a manual is because I wanted to like have engine braking, so when I let go of the clutch pedal, the engine just slows me down because my brakes are terrible. I'll explain those after. That's it. And neat thing about this clutch, by the way, is like you can actually put it into neutral. So when you're driving an electric motor, you just lock the clutch pedal, and you got this little thingy here that I can stick my foot underneath, and it just like, I can just release it. So the neat thing about this guy is that you can drive the electric motor, I'd say up to like from 0 to like 12 kilometers per hour. That's like relatively slow. And then once I hit 12 kilometers per hour, like I can drop the clutch, I can start my engine, or even after the engine's started, I can have it idling. I can drop the clutch and I could just slowly coast off on the gas engine. I could shut off the electric motor. Anyway, here now in the front you got my fantastic landscaping lights, as you can see, as headlights, because I want a warm white. I want it 3000 Kelvin, not like like 5000 like those LED headlights or whatever. And the steering is absolutely, I don't know, I love the steering. I don't know about you, but the steering for me is fantastic because it actually makes a lot of revolutions. As you can see, the aircraft cable pull everything in. Like, it's cool because it doesn't steer fast like an actual go-kart. And here we have the winch in the front. I'll show after how that winch works. Like, I basically use it to like pull it up my trailer ramps, because this thing's, I repeat, this thing is not light. And I mean not light. It's all made out of wood, and it's got like some kind of metal like brackets and beams and stuff to like support it, because I'm not exactly a basketball player. Like, I don't weigh like 60 kilos. That's my problem. Anyway, in here we got your handbrake. I kind of use this as a regular brake, like just like slow me down if I have to do an emergency stop, but mostly I rely on engine braking. There is like a brake rotor, like a disc rotor mounted on the back wheel on the shaft. I'll show you like actually right now. Actually, as you can see, I jacked it up so you can have like a better view of like underneath kind of. So yeah, that's your engine sprocket, and then you got your electric motor sprocket. And if you look down, this is like a jack shaft. So if you look down, you can see like the big sprocket, and right beside you got like a disc rotor that I mounted on the shaft. And for some reason I have trouble trying to figure out how to mount the caliper, because it's an awkward piece of metal that I have absolutely no idea how to mount. Let's see if you can see here, maybe. That's your disc rotor. And it's mounted on pillow block bearings. This whole like shaft assembly is nothing really crazy, but it works. As you can see, the hose clamps, those are just to hold the key slots in place so they don't like slip around left and right here and there. Anyway, moving away from that, and now like you're wondering now how this thing works. Like, because see, the electric motor runs a lot slower than the gas engine wheel, because the gas engine could take me like say 33 kilometers per hour max. That's the top speed. That's enough. Anything faster is going to get too shaky. Electric motor takes me like say 12 kilometers or 15 kilometers max. And now you wonder, how does this work? Like, how do you like not, like run the motor at like a crazy RPM? Because obviously when you shut the motor off and the engine's running, you think the motor would be spinning. But here's the neat thing. I added like a freewheel clutch, like a bicycle has. So like when you go forward, this thing just coasts lightly, and when you back up, you turn the whole like chain drive and everything. And the reason is, so like this thing could go spin really fast while this thing sits quiet, because I don't want this thing like going like above like its rated speed. Like if it's like rated 3000 RPM, I don't want to like crank it like say 8000 or whatever, because it's gonna like the chain will probably flop off and everything. And while your gas engine here, my gas engine actually, this guy has the clutch pedal, so now it's like locked, doesn't have a freewheel clutch or anything. And once I press down the clutch pedal and I lock it into neutral, I can actually like spin the wheel freely. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start this thing up. I'm gonna turn on first the electric motor. Alright, so first we gotta put the start button, get it to latch, and then we go. And that's our emergency stop with everything. Now I'm gonna start up the gas engine. Just to keep in mind, the engine's already like warmed up, so the choke is all the way down to that maximum oxygen flow and everything. I just gotta turn on the fuel valve. Now this is like the most old school way to start this thing up. They call it the Soviet Union way. So I'm winding this thing on the right way. You let go of the clutch, and you let it rip like a yo-yo. Yeah, and that's about everything. So that's how you could start it up. Like you just use the belt way. It's like the almost old school way to start it. It's even older than like using the crank they stick in the front of a car or something back in like God knows when, World War II or whatever. That's one way to start the engine. Another way to start it is to simply drive the electric motor and drop the clutch, which I can actually demonstrate right now. See, so I'm sitting on it, and boy, this thing feels amazing. I just love the steering on this thing. It's better than an actual go-kart, because a go-kart's too fast, too jerky. This thing's smooth, and I'm sitting on it with my weight, and like it's really like, see, it's like I still want to mount like those ball mounts or something you have like truck drivers have or something. Anyway, so here's a way to start it. You can get the electric motor going. Obviously, I'm not holding the wheel because the stupid thing has to be on the right side. See if I can like straighten out this ship. Okay, let's see what I can do. And I shut the motor and dropped the clutch. You get the idea though. Yeah, you get the idea though. Gotta shut off the fuel valve. Make sure this thing's stopped. Yep. You get the idea. So basically, like, you gotta just, that's a way to start, and it's also a good way to warm the engine up while the engines are warming up. Because you're at the back of where the engine is, you got this choke lever you gotta attach, like, you know, you gotta adjust, I mean. It's like when it's warmed up, you drop it all the way down kind of thing. Because this is a 2-stroke engine. Oh yeah, and by the way, like, if any of you guys are Polish or and maybe like in their 50s and older, this is drewniany Trabant. This means wooden Trabant. A Trabant is a car they used to have, a German car that was made all out of plastic. It had a plastic body and everything. So, and it was also a 2-stroke engine. I named this drewniany, which means wooden, because this is wooden and it's a 2-stroke engine, so I thought it's pretty neat. That's what I called it. Yeah, and I guess that's about it, I guess, with this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Give me a thumbs up if you like it.